Hey, what's going on, everyone? I am J.A. Dudley, and a question that was posed to me from Rambette. I don't know what my dogs are doing. They, maybe they are playing around, or they found another rabbit, or it's coyotes out there, but I don't hear the coyotes, or I don't know. They're yipping and barking. But Rambette asked, said, I would love to hear your testimony. How did you come to Yah? That is a very interesting thing. I, I, I don't know how, just like I don't know how I could say that I am who I am today or mark a certain point in life because there were so many different points in life, starting from birth, of how someone can say, or I could say that I came to Yah, but I did turn away from Yah, more so in a turning away from Christianity, and with turning away from Christianity, I put on the hat of atheism or agnosticism to that was odd. The It just stopped recording in the middle of this. So I was talking about my I don't know if you would call it a facade or something like that, because I didn't know the pathway that I was going on. I just knew that when I was young, everyone was saying, "Oh, you are going to be the next pastor of St. Paul AME Church in East Orange, New Jersey," because the pastor, Reverend C. Choice, and I had the exact same birthday. So that was the first thing. Then, as I was going through life, I was a was in a choir. I would lead Bible studies while I was young. I was in the YPD, the Young People's Division of the Missionaries. I was in a traveling choir. I then studied for and gave a trial sermon because I was going to dive into that pathway. But then that pathway, my eyes started opening up about what I was doing and what was going on around me. Some of the things that were going on around me, like the corruption in the AME church, or pastors stealing, or a pastor can't drive a regular car or vehicle. They got to be in a Mercedes because they're trying to keep up with the Joneses and do the what they see the big name mega church style pastors doing. They have to put on this front of something that they're not, but since the money is rolling in, or they have access to the money, they take a little bit for themselves, like, oh, this modest house or parsonage that they have is not enough. I need a mini mansion up on a hill, because that's what a pastor deserves. There's no meekness, there's no humbleness in these pastors that were getting rotated in and out, except for a few. There was it. Oh, I can't think of these pastors' name. That I would have to go through the history of St. Paul to get their names. Was it Reverend Luster, Reverend Donald C. Luster? He seemed to be a cool dude, but his wife, she was all into vanity. Who else was it? Uh, there was a pastor that filled in after the controversy with Reverend Cousins, that he was stealing money and then sleeping with someone in the church, or just a whole lot of nonsense that isn't about the Father's business. And I saw myself going down that same pathway. I was trying to dive into my Bible and get a better understanding of who I was and who I needed to be so that I am not becoming one of those pastors. Well, it's kind of difficult not to be one of those pastors when every church trip you go on, you try and sleep with as many females as possible. So every day I would have to look at myself in the mirror and say, well, you continuously say that you don't want to be like them, but you're doing the stuff that they are doing. And then the people that you're coming up with, since you're hanging out with such an older crowd within the church body, those people are starting to move forward and starting to become assistant pastors or even getting their own churches. And what are they doing? The exact same thing that we were doing while we're at Christian education conferences or YPD district or conventions and stuff, flying all over the place and being looked up to by so many, but realizing that, oh, I'm just repeating this cycle. So if I'm repeating this cycle, am I still going to be able to be good or do good and bring the Father's word to these people? No, I need to really dive into the Bible. So back then, I started from page 1 and I had all of these questions about the contradictions throughout the Bible. And I would ask this pastor, I would ask that pastor, I would ask this bishop, because at the place that I was known and I had access to all of these people. And I wanted to make sure that I was going into this for the right reason. Well, why doesn't this stuff make sense? Why do we do these things? Why do we not follow the laws of the Bible, which now I know as the Torah? Why aren't we doing these things? Oh, because they were done away with. Well, why doesn't this make sense? Because the blood of Jesus cleansed all of that away, so you don't have to worry about that anymore. Like that doesn't make any sense. Because if Jesus is saying that we're to do this forever and we're not doing it forever, how does that make any sense to the Father? So that frustration hit each and every one of those pastors, bishops, ministers, deacons, hit them all the same. And they all gave me the same response. Just have faith. Okay, just have faith. Just have faith in what? It's like, instead of saying, you know what, I can't answer that question. I love that you are pushing me on these things as a youth. But no, they threw their hands up and aborted missions. Just have faith. So that wasn't good enough for me. So constantly hitting those walls, I was like, well, maybe I need to figure out, I need to go on a pilgrimage and figure out what it is that I need to do to get right, not only within myself, but with the Father. So walking away uh, and researching, not experimenting, but researching and trying to understand what Buddhism is about or Judaism is about, Islam is about, all these different things. Talking with so many different people and why they believe the way that they do. And it started to feel like no one knows what it is that they're doing. They don't have a concrete plan of what it is that they're doing. They see a goal line and they're trying to get to that goal line, just like the Christians. They see a goal line and they're trying to get to that goal line. The only difference is with the Christians, they have a pathway set out for them of what they need to do and what they need not do, and they don't follow that pathway. They hit all of these stumbling blocks and get knocked on their butt, and they cry out to the sky asking why this, why that. Well, it explains it all throughout Deuteronomy of why this and why that. Like, we got programs on our phones now called "If This Then That." That's something that people should start to look at when they are questioning why certain things are happening to them. If this, then that. If you're doing this from the Father's word, then that will happen. If you are doing things that are not following the Father's word, then that will happen. It's fairly simple, but people don't want to acknowledge that. They want the Father to come in on their time. They want to praise him when something is good, but then question him when something is bad. You don't get to do that. Job didn't get to do that. So what makes you think that you are better than Job when the Father told Job to go kick rocks when you question me, after he allowed everything to be taken from him except for his life, and then it's all given back to him, and he questioned why? Not in a why of how could you do this? Like, can you just explain it to me? Like, why would you do something like that? Oh, you were questioning me, the creator of the universe, why I do something that I do? You should wonder, why did I even create you? Once you could figure out an answer to that, then I'll give you an answer to everything else of why I did what I did. But if you can't figure that out, don't even think about questioning me, because you can't understand why. No, not at all. So I'm going on this journey, and the journey also is not only about my faith, it's also about what is a man. I didn't know how to define what a man was because I never saw one before. I've seen plenty of males, I've seen plenty of adult males that didn't have or does not have. Hey, Silverback. Good boy. Don't knock over the camera. Yes, okay. You can be right here. Yes, it's okay. You're kicking the camera. Did something happen? Is that why y'all ran off? You're not bleeding, so you're good. Good boy. Okay, go. Wait. Silverback, I'm recording a video, and you're bumping into the camera. Where are you going? It's okay. Go ahead. Come on, go. Or sit down. That was Silverback, everyone. Silverback. Completely lost my train of thought. Oh, I was trying to figure out how to define a man, because I've never met a man before. I've met many males that were an adult that didn't know or have a pathway or a design of what it is that they need to do in life, or how they need to carry themselves through life. They were just putting on all these facades, even though they were scared little boys. They had no confidence. They will put on this false bravado that, oh, I'm this, I'm tough, I'm that, I'm a smooth, cool dude. I get all the ladies. I do this, but where is your family that you are covering for? Where where are your children that are aspiring to be like you? Where is your generational wealth? So without all of that, how can you even call yourself a man? Like, oh, nobody told me about that. Well, in Proverbs, the only way to have wisdom is to get wisdom. You have to go out there and seek that. But if no one has told you, you're just going through life, going through life with no knowledge, no information, no substance. Some people tend to get that knowledge way later on in their 60s, 70s, 80s, on their deathbed. They start to understand what it was that they were supposed to be doing. So through the movie Fight Club, I was able to get the question, not answer the question. And it took me from 1999 to 2007, and to see someone die that was close to me and realize, oh, there is some real stuff out here that I need to be able to take care of. I need to be strong for so many other people and put on these burdens and struggle so others don't have to. I need to I need to be consistent with everyone that I come in contact with, so that they're not like, oh, well, he acts like this with these type of people. He talks like this with these type of people. No, I have to be on this straight and narrow path. That is one of the signatures of being a man. His consistency, his honor, his conviction, his confidence in all of his decisions, so that if things are going all wrong around him, people can look to him as a solid rock and foundation and be able to go to him when they are at their worst. That's what I think being a man is. At least that's what I figured out then, because I was still in the wilderness trying to explain it, because I needed to be able to be that man and that example for football as he was coming up. So then time goes on. I am doing the best that I can at being consistent with everyone that I come in contact with. I advance and excel at so many different things. I learn all of these different things. And then my athletics continue. But I don't let that become my persona. I am a person that fights. I am not a fighter. I was a person that played football, but I'm not a football player. I am JA. What that actually means is something else that I will one day have to break down and define for everyone. But I needed to I needed to be that for football, so that if he's ever questioned what is a man, he can look to me and say, my father is a man. So going through life and time, having ups and downs, ebbs and flows with life, and staying my consistent self. Then I get married, and I start winding down my fight career. become an over-the-road truck driver. And this YouTuber, you all may know him, Bear Independent, used to pray at the end of his videos. Well, actually, I'm saying used to. He still does that. And when I started listening to him, as soon as it got to the prayers, like, up, next video. I don't need to listen to or hear that, because that's not my thing. I have what I need out of life. I can say that I am a man and actually be truthful and confident and be able to break down why I believe that I am a man. Then one day, I wasn't able to get to my cell phone quick enough to skip to the next video. I listened to one of his prayers. That really spoke to me, because I could hear a man with the same conviction as me, but he has biblical precedents as his foundation. When I look back at my youth, I used to have biblical foundation that was guiding me, but I pushed all of that back. I took little bits and pieces like a Christian would and took that throughout my life, especially with my family members. I'm the atheist agnostic that is driving my mother back to Christianity. I'm that atheist agnostic that my grandmother would tell everyone that she comes in contact with that he is more Christian than anyone that I know. But I'm that atheist agnostic. It's all because I took everything that my foundation gave me and I made it myself, but I took the title away. I wasn't a Christian. No, because Christians are about that bullshit. That is what I realized. Like, oh, okay, you can pick and choose when you want to be good, not just be good. So, back to the Bear Independent, started listening to all of his videos in full, listening to the prayers, and then one day he said, hey, to everyone that's out there that's questioning, just pick up a Bible and start at page 1. And I'm like, well, I've read through my Bible multiple times before. Like, what is going to be different? Man, I took up that challenge, started at page 1, and it's like I never read the Bible before in my life. Everything was totally different. I was able to see every biblical story in real time, like it was happening all around me. It wasn't something from way back when with all the these and thous and all of that stuff. No, it was whores and criminals that were going through life trying to figure it out, trying to define what a man and woman is. That was an eye-opening experience that meant the world to me. It completely changed my outlook on life, especially when a few years prior, when my wife and we reconnected from my youth, because she initially met me when I was walking away from the church. Then she pops back up in my life asking for help so she could talk to her family and explain to them why she is an atheist. I said, well, one, you're not. You must just be mad at the church. Because if you're an atheist, you would know why you're an atheist. You wouldn't have to question things. You would have rock solid answers to people. You wouldn't need someone to define that for you. So I told her, you are not. You are just going through this time of anguish or stress of whatever is going on in your life. And then once again, like when we were younger, she was intrigued, but there was no fear here. I was still wearing that agnostic hat, and we talked about the Bible, we talked about ourselves, and that's what brought us together. And then when I picked up the Bible again and started from page 1, she went on that journey with me. And we started to get more and more understanding. It was all making sense. Then I turned my life over into the Father's hands and asked him to guide me so I could guide her. And that's after we got married. It wasn't, oh, my world is crumbling around me. No, making good money, no worries, no stressors or anything like that. But I felt as though that there was one little minuscule piece missing. And that piece was the Father. His word, his message is what I was missing so that I could be complete in what I am telling people about what a man is, about my faith, about why I get to do what I do, why I live where I live. It's all because of faith. I prayed to the Father flying down the highway with hazardous chemicals behind me saying, Father, what do I need to do? Because I don't need to be here. I am becoming a truck driver. I'm not just driving a truck. I'm running people off of the road. I'm having road rage. What is going on? So I needed to dive into my word. I needed to have faith in him, and he would guide me. He said, you need to get out of New Jersey. It's like, I want to get out of New Jersey. I want my family's property in North Carolina. Nope, that's not for you. I want to go move to Kansas. Let me talk to my company and try and get them to build me a hub in the middle of nowhere in Kansas. And I'll just run back and forth all throughout the country. And he said, nope, get rid of that house. Okay. Got rid of the house, and then van life stuff started popping up on my YouTube. And it's like, oh, well, we'll be a trucker couple. You'll get your CDL and we'll just drive around the country. And then it's like, oh, well, when we're not on the truck, we could do the van life thing. So I had to sell that to her. Then I get recognized by Bear Independent in the middle of him yelling at people on his YouTube channel saying, we don't recruit people, we don't invite people here. And within that same breath, he said, hey, Dudley, you should come hang out. That was weird. That was odd. Was that from him, or was that from the Father saying that I needed to come here? He didn't know that I was getting rid of everything in New Jersey so that we could be free and be untethered to our past. He didn't know anything about that. He said I should come visit. Then I come visit. He said I should come out for Sukkot. Then I come out for Sukkot. Then I come back for a wedding. And then he said, hey, do you want to move out here? You want to come work with me? help me build what I'm building out here. And it, there wasn't even a question on that. It wasn't, well, maybe I have to figure this out. I have to do that. No, I'm calling my trucking company, Diamond Chemical, out of East Rutherford, New Jersey, and saying, hey, I am putting in my 2 weeks notice, which a year prior to that, I told them, hey, if you don't get me a hub in the middle of the country within 2 years, I am leaving the company because I need to go live out in the middle of the country. Glad that I said within 2 years, not in 2 years, because when I told them I'm giving them my 2 weeks, they was like, hey, you said that you were going to be here for 2 years. No, I said within 2 years, I am going to leave this company. They were the owner of the company, Harold Diamond, which is a Jewish man, practicing Jewish man. When he started to see that I was getting deeper and deeper into my faith after we existed on so many different planes. Like, he would come train with my fight team and then wanted me to come be a driver for him. And I was like, well, I don't know. I don't want to be over the road. I'm still fighting and all this other stuff. But like I said, my career was winding down, and I got in that OTR seat flying up and down the highway for him. And then after finding Bear Independent and taking up that challenge and reading the word and starting to wear a tzitzit, and then saying that I'm going to abide by the Torah and honor the Sabbath, I let them know that. He lit up. Harold Diamond, that is. He lit up. It's like, oh, you are serious about this. Yeah, do your thing. Schedule your life how you need to schedule your life so that you can honor the Sabbath. So that was leaving out early on Sunday, getting on the road, driving wherever I needed to drive in the country so I could get back by Thursday or midday on Friday, and they would have a load ready for me, as opposed to how they used to get stuff done. They would have loads ready by Monday evening, Tuesday. It's like, no, that's not going to work for me anymore. If I'm going to honor the Sabbath, I can't get on the road on Tuesday and then expect to be back by Friday when the Shabbat starts. So the entire company had to shift because I started honoring the Father. I don't know if that pissed people off or anything like that, but it happened. I was able to do that. And my obedience to the Father and His Word is what got us here. That's what my journey was. That's what my testimony was on how I got out here, how I live in the middle of nowhere on the side of a mountain, enjoying life, trying to make the best decisions for my family so that I can leave an inheritance for them, so generations can be a part of it. So that's my testimony. Y'all have a blessed day. Shalom.